I want to make something that actually has depth to it, without just being shallow depth, which is what it usually feels like when you make something dark and edgy for the sake of it, or have just very sudden and jarring things happen, like someone's head being decapitated
and that
for
was
no
not
good
even
reason.
I got a coin.
Actually, ever since like 3rd grade, I've had like a story idea that I've developed pretty much endlessly since then. Yes, I've had that long running of a story idea. And of course, as I got older, it changed drastically because my perceptions on good storytelling developed, and a lot of my ideas became less generic. Because when I was a kid, I would just do things that I thought were cool just because I saw them done in other mediums in other ways. Like, I'm doing this because I like seeing it. But now I think about it from the perspective on how interesting it is, how much it builds character, depth of the world. If it doesn't add any value to the story itself, I don't think that I would have reason to do it.
Is it for magic mush again? Come on. That tears up is pretty good though. I'd say that was worth it. Just like at Twilight. It's always a good point.
Well, you don't have to. There are interesting stories that sell. It's just easier to make a sell to stupid people, to be blunt about it. Like, as you can see on YouTube, the most popular stuff is the most annoying and obnoxious stuff. It's not impossible to sell with good writing or characters.
I like how actual good writing is like a niche.
Yeah.
This should just be like a category of books that's actually good.
Nah. I'm sure that Markiplier is an awesome person. He definitely seems like he's a good person. I just don't like his content myself, and you're going to get a difference in opinions regardless. Like, everyone has their own opinion. But at the very least, not who I was referring to anyway. Like, I'm talking more about stuff like Annoying Orange, Fred, and PewDiePie. They're really popular and really obnoxious.
Also, I'd say most of Smosh's stuff is pretty stupid. They do put some good things out, so I'm not gonna hate too much. but a lot of it's pretty stupid in my opinion. Yeah, I haven't actually.
That's true, but people seem to move on to the next big thing though with YouTube. Like, nothing's gonna be popular forever. I'm just using those as examples of what is popular on YouTube, and it usually is the more loud and obnoxious stuff. PewDiePie is still insanely popular, from what I know. He's like one of the biggest YouTube channels there is.
Isn't he like the most subscribed to channel or some shit?
Yeah, I think so. I'm sure that not even, like, the Game Grumps will be popular forever.
No, no, no! God damn it! Wait, I still had fires? No, I didn't.
See, I think that's the one big problem with trying to make a career out of something like Twitch or YouTube. Because, like, even if you're popular at one point, that
Cheers up here.
that kind of job doesn't really have much longevity to it. Like, eventually that popularity will wane.
See if we can get into the curse room or item room for free. Or a secret room, I guess. Let's look for magic mush again. Let's close. I have plenty of range. Oh yeah, here's another thing I can teleport into. Let's just get out of there, because that's gonna be annoying. Too bad I don't have money to get BFF, because that can always pay off.
I'm gonna go see what's popular on YouTube right now, just to see if my point is correct. Like, people usually will flock to whatever is the most obnoxious or whatever.
Ooh, me and Spider. Okay, that was worth teleporting around for.
Because it seems like a majority of people don't actually care about quality that much. Otherwise, stuff like Twilight wouldn't be popular, or 50 Shades of Grey. The funny thing about 50 Grades of Shades is basically Twilight fanfiction made popular. That's how it started out. It was supposed to be Twilight fanfiction.
What's aggravating you? Hopefully it's not me spamming teleport. Because I can see that being annoying. But I want to get in the curse room for free. I don't want to take soul heart damage. Oh,
Getting on my
I
case
see.
about how I pronounce things.
Well, okay. I came for what I Or I got what I came for. I have no pickups at all.
I forget that I was using a redirection thing that prevents me from even seeing the what to watch page on YouTube.
Oh, you're probably trying to avoid that, huh?
Yep.
Not that I blame you.
I don't ever see that shit unless I actively go out of my way to do so. Oh god, now that I'm gonna be looking at it, going to regret it.
Also, make sure you don't accidentally click on one of them, or else your suggestions are gonna be all fucked up.
I usually don't see my suggestions anyway.
But then you just have to live with the fact that they think you would like that, and it's upsetting.
If I don't have to see it, I don't have to care about it. Fuck. They recommend me whatever the fuck you want.
Bring it on, motherfucker. Oh god, Five Nights at Freddy's.
You know,
You think people would be sick of it by now?
I don't like...
To each their own, but... Like, I've seen gameplay of it, and it looks very repetitive and boring. It looks really dull.
And each game kind of has that same thing I was talking about, like where it gets darker and edgier. Because the first game, the animatronics looked pretty normal. And then in the next game, they're more deranged and they have more teeth. And then the next game, they become more deteriorated. It just gets more and more ridiculous, and actually makes it less scary because they look more like monsters. It was interesting. That's the only thing I'll admit about the first game. Like, it was interesting from the perspective that animatronics look unsettling because of like that uncanny valley feeling that they have. Like, you can tell that they're machines, but they still look like animals, and they're not just made out to look like monsters intentionally. They look believable. But as the games went on, the designs became a lot less grounded, and it just looks stupid in my opinion. It's like adding more teeth and deterioration to something doesn't always lead to it looking scarier.
Also, from what I've seen of the game, it looks like it's just like the same two jump scares over and over, and the gameplay never changes. It looks all very dull.
It just literally jump scares the game.
How could I even, like, it's not even scary, it's just boring.
The weird thing, like, to me, is that my opinions on Five Nights at Freddy's were offensive enough to someone I used to talk to, they stopped talking to me.
That's when you go, well, it's probably best for me anyway. Really?
It's like, if this opinion of mine was so offensive that you couldn't speak to me anymore, then you weren't a very good friend.
That's pretty silly.
It's sad too, because that was like one of the people I had been talking to for years, and it feels like all that time was for naught, just because one thing led to us not talking anymore.
Especially over something so silly.
It's a fucking video game. People